little bit of a different video today. I went over to Buddy's house to just kind of do some deadlifts and do a leg workout, just because we hadn't really worked out in a while. It's his little girl. She was a bit of an obstacle today. But we were just kind of testing our deadlifts. I was hoping to hit a 405-pound deadlift conventional, as I have yet to really pull that off. Fortunately, wasn't able to do it today, and I have a few ideas of what's going on with that. But this here is just kind of our warm-ups, building up to the maximal set. Just working our way up there, going through my typical progression for warm-ups too. Typically, I'll do like 135, 185, 225, 275, 315, and then switch over to singles, which may or may not be a little bit too much. I'm not entirely sure, but it's just kind of always what's felt pretty easy on me and getting up my body like ready to do those higher weights. Um, and we're just kind of going through. Ryan had not deadlifted for quite some time since maybe the last time I'd been over to do that with him. We were using a trap bar at that time. Um, but all of this kind of moved fairly easily until we started getting to the high 300s when it started slowing down, because it was like, all right, we got to take our time with these and make these go well. I know Ryan in particular was a little bit nervous going over 300 pounds just because he hadn't done that in a long time, but he did really well. So he was pretty happy with how things went. I mean, I'm fairly happy too, up until we get kind of to the end. But you're never going to get all the lifts you try. You're always going to find a point where you get stuck. And to me, I'm kind of thinking on it. I was stuck at trying to get over 300 pounds for the longest time. I think it was somewhere in the region of like 4 or 5 months. I was stuck at 285, just trying to push over that threshold. And it's been a bit longer for me trying to push over into the 400-pound threshold with a conventional deadlift. Right now, my best is 385, and I can pull that kind of whenever I want with a conventional pull. And I think looking at this, oh, his his dog kind of got in the way too, so I was trying to slow down that lift. That honestly might have eaten up a lot of energy on me too. Um, but I think what my issue is, I know I've mentioned it before, but you can kind of see it crop up in that last rep where my hips shoot up a little early, and then I'm almost effectively stiff legging or doing a stiff legged deadlift at that point. And while I can muscle the weight up, to a certain point, round about that 375, 385 area, I really can't muscle up more than that. So it really is kind of detrimental to me being able to progress forward in this, and I really need to kind of work to get around that. Um, so it's definitely an obstacle for me with this. And I think just looking at this, it might be time to try to find a space to incorporate doing deficit deadlifts into my workouts. Um, I'm not sure how they exactly I would fit them in or what they would replace. So this is my first attempt at 405. Kind of worried about the little girl there, and you can see how my hips just shot up, immediately, and I had no way to really kind of recover from that. Ryan had not pulled 400 pounds conventionally in almost a year, and he was able to just work his way through that, and he was able to get it. A little bit of encouragement from me for him to do that. I decided to try it again. Um, Trying to get my hips lower, but again, my hips shot up. And I think that if I'm able to keep my hips low, I can get it. I absolutely have the strength to pull this weight. I've pulled 450 on a trap bar, and then I've pulled 420 recently. But again, my hips just keep shooting up. I'm not sure what it is that why I keep doing that, and why, and they may be not strong enough. I'm just relying on the strength I have in my legs to do it. Here I was just sitting and trying to practice positioning with just feeling my hips, just trying to keep my hips low and just feeling where I needed to be, pulling through that and trying again. Um, just to try to get that in my head. I wanted to get this one more solid try at 400, and just try to get it. But you never really get all of it. Again, hips got high, and got frustrated. Tried to give myself a little bit of a break, drop it down to 390 and try one more time. But again, I think at this point I was just so gassed that I couldn't really get through and do it. So another day. Again, I'm not too concerned about still not hitting it. It took me months to break a 300-pound barrier until I finally got it. But it's a process, and I think I need to do something to address my hips. They are rising too quickly. I know I can lock the weight out, but I'm shooting up into position for that way too early before I've even really gotten it that far off the ground. And my hips are rising too high, and I'm going to rely on my lower back at that point to lock that weight out, and that's not an effective way to do it. So I've really got to find a way to get the entire posterior chain to move in one motion with my hips and my legs, to where they're arriving at the lockout at the same time, rather than my legs shooting up with my hips and locking out, and then I have to basically good morning that entire weight up. It's not a feasible way to do it. So I really need to work on getting that to be a smooth motion. And the way to do that again is just doing deficit deadlifts. What's causing me that sticking point is keeping the hips low when I break the weight. So if I artificially make the weight even lower in comparison to the beginning of the lift, that should have a benefit of being able to make that whole lift up until the end smoother. But that I got to figure out how to work that in. This has kind of been a consistent issue for me throughout my time deadlifting, and I just want to solve this. This is a problem between me and my body, and I got to figure it out. So I'm going to keep working on that and tackling it until I can get that resolved.